can see and hear you. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Known Realms Still Live. Before we dive into tonight's session, let's go ahead and introduce our players, starting with Angie.
Hello, everybody. My name is Angie. They, them pronouns. I play Xio Marino. He, their pronouns. You can find me at Agonethetic on the internet. And also, starting on December 14th, Saturday, December 14th, Tales Archive is showing God Killer Sinner Sacrifice. So excited for this game. Cyrus and I really got into it.
I can't wait. Oh my god.
And yeah, I'm hoping that you guys can watch. Yay.
Do it or else. I watched every session. Obviously, they cooked. Thank you, Angie. And yes, please check out God Killer Sinner Sacrifice on December 14th, 5 p.m. EST. Lou.
Hi, I'm Lou. I play Dolores. We both use she, her pronouns, and you can find me at Lucilia_art or -art on Blue Sky on most social medias, and also at GalaxyCon this weekend in Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio.
Buy my art, please.
do it or
Buy
else.
her art.
Do it. Do it.
Just
Buy her art.
David.
Hey guys, I'm David. My pronouns are he, him, and I play Whistle. Also he, him pronouns. You can catch me here as Whistle, and then you can also catch me in January in some other Tales Archive projects. And then you can catch me over at Stealthy Elf Productions, where I'm the game master of several Pathfinder 2nd Edition games.
They keep piling up. They keep piling up.
More games.
More games.
Thank you, David. And last but not least, Button.
Hello, I'm Button. My pronouns are they, them. I am Bluebluebutton on social media, and when I'm not playing Echinacea Bellrose in this campaign, you can find me in the aforementioned project come January, and then over on Stealthy Elf Productions in 2 campaigns, Unearthed Inheritance, where I play Cressida, who sounds a little like Dolores, and Amanita, who does not sound like anyone in this campaign, in New World Rebellion.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Alec. My pronouns are he, him. You can find me all places on the internet as...
Try and spell that.
How do I spell that? Yeah.
Hi, everybody. My name is Alec. My pronouns are he, him. You can find me all places on the internet at Tales Archive. I'm the Archivist here for Known Realms Tolesh. I will be leading another aforementioned project here at Tales Archive. And shut up. You can find me at Stealthy Elf Productions in multiple games. One Unearthed Inheritance as Finn Reese, who has an Irish accent that I'm really going to struggle to get back into. I'm either going to take on Button's Southern accent, or I'm going to be Kaelin. I've done that so many times playing Finn, where I'm just like, oh yeah, this is just how I speak, and Button will be like, who are you?
You go into your default soft boy voice, and it's like, wrong one.
And then I play Nrim, who kind of sounds like a cheeky anime protagonist in New World Rebellion. So, yeah, check that out. And since this is a pre-recorded episode, Alec in the future is going to do a read-in. Woo! So, thank you very much, past Alec. Future Alec here with your recap. Last chapter began as the Fated reunited after their tense and horrifying bout at the Crimson Mask, tending to their own wounds as well as the wounds of their opponents. Echinacea, Whistle, and Xio talked to Warren and Antigo while they processed the night's combat. Over the course of these conversations, they learned that Antigo fights to gain gold in order to support their community of Westgate. Warren, on the other hand, fights to raise funds to save his brother Ellis from a mysterious magical affliction. Meanwhile, in the office of Milo Markovovich, Dolores is praised for her outing, though it's clear she feels undeserving of any praise or rewards. After Dolores and Sophia hash out personal debts and discuss Dolores seeking out experts on Feywild Bleeds, Milo informs Dolores about 3 lucrative opportunities. One is with the Thimolt family from Valenrow, another is a tournament held in the Crimson Mask, and the final is a series of hits by order of the Corrigan family, one of 4 powerful crime families in Olkes. Shortly after, everyone finds themselves at the bar within the Crimson Mask. The Fated and Dolores are approached by many patrons, all in awe of the party's performances. Whistle and Dolores speak about changing paths, and it is clear that the elder fighter understands where the younger prize fighter is currently at. Then Whistle pays Dolores for her help with Vincent Morosov earlier in the day, all while narrowly avoiding an arm wrestle. Xio tries to give Aio the money earned from the bout, but the young artificer makes it clear that she does not want blood money. Echinacea and Warren discuss their respective corberes until it becomes clear that Eadwulf is contending with a lot of emotions. The wizard and their shadow talk through that anger, guilt, fear, and intent to change this place as a team. Echinacea then promises Warren to help his brother. Dolores tries to visually check in on Aio, but is body blocked by Xio. Aio's curiosity leads to the twins discussing the night's events, and that discussion eventually breaks out into a heated argument. Aio storms out of the Crimson Mask, and Dolores follows after her, Xio glaring, but not taking action. The night at the Crimson Mask comes to an end as the party makes their way back to the humble abode. On the walk home, Nikolai apologizes to Whistle, but the fighter makes sure to state that the blood-tinged Nikolai is experiencing is not his fault. The conversation then shifts to Dolores, Nikolai asking Whistle to be gentle with her. The lovers discuss how similar the two are and make clear that they are on the right path. Dolores seeks out Aio, and the two have a short and stilted conversation, Aio clearly still affected by witnessing Dolores' performance. The artificer falls into comforting their friend and stating that she needs time to process. The two part as Dolores makes her way to Sophia's flat in the city. Now back at the abode, Xio heads directly to their room and cuddles up with Asandro, who mentions meeting another person interested in spirit calling. Echinacea struggles to reveal what happened and eventually settles into an embrace with Kaelin. And Whistle grabs a drink and disassociates. Dolores and Sophia spend the night together and practice opera. Before bed, Echinacea makes good on a promise and knocks on the door of Lucien's dreams. The wizard sculpts the Lord's dream to look like the clock tower where they shared their first date. Lucien and the good doctor spend their time together discussing the night's events and the desire to change the Crimson Mask and Ulkes for the better. They end their night together. In the morning, Xio makes coffee from the aisle for Asandro. The rogue then presents a letter communicating their feelings about Wit, and the two discuss comfortability. Asandro states that he is comfortable with Xio pursuing Wit, but tells him to keep in mind the fragile state that the once avatar of Kaletra is in. Xio chooses to hold on to the letter for now. Eventually, the rest of the party wakes up and discusses their plans for the day. Xio intends to spirit call with Asandro and Vidal, the individual mentioned the night before, and head to Larwith to speak to Aio. Echinacea and Whistle plan to go to the docks, Whistle intending to complete a small task there, and Echinacea is going to meet Warren. After getting in contact with Dolores, who is pushed by Sophia to use the party in order to cure her affliction, the prizefighter says that she can show Echinacea and Whistle where Warren resides, as she's familiar with both the docks and him. After their goals are met, the party will meet at the Larwith Library to conduct research. The group agrees and heads on their separate ways. Headed out to Spirit Call, Xio and Asandro meet Vidal, a fellow Nonican from the Scorched Isle. The Furbolg shows excited curiosity as well as an ability to learn quickly, as he tends to win Domine. Now within Ulkes's outer districts, Xio takes in the wealth disparity and remembers Antigo's words. Here, Xio meets a glass Omine by the name of View, latched to an abandoned general store, and offers her a home at the humble abode, where there are plenty of people to gaze through windows and take in all of its beautiful sights. At the docks, Dolores introduces the party to Yura, an elderly hobgoblin and dockmaster of Ulkes. It is here where Whistle reveals that he has a commission he's hoping to see through. His plans are to commission an airship for the party backed by Lucien's funding. The group at the docks are led to Chorus, a Leonin shipwright who is eager to take on such an ambitious project. Dolores then leads Echinacea and Whistle to the barracks where Warren resides. Echinacea takes a moment to apologize to Dolores for their desire to change a place that is so personal to her. Dolores making it clear that there is nothing to apologize for, and that she appreciates the wizard for saving her life. No harm done. The topic shifts to Ellis and his magical ailment, this piquing Dolores' interest as she contends with her wild magic. The wizard and barbarian opt to table the conversation until after Warren and Ellis are helped. Upon entering the barracks, Echinacea, Whistle, and Dolores see Ellis in stasis and surrounded by silvery magic. Frozen in place and his eyes opening slowly, fully washed over in a bright silver light. That is where we ended our session. we pick up within.
Thanks, Alec.
Yeah. Thanks, Alec. Love that guy. Hey, Alec, break it down. Thank you, buddy. Okay. So we pick up with Xio, who's just finished bringing in a new Amine, a glass Amine, snake companion anime, and is now making their way to the Larwith Academy to go see their sister Aio.
Yes, their name is View, if I remember correctly.
Sure is.
Is View with me?
Yeah, I'd say View is with you, unless you make a pit stop at the humble abode, which is totally up to you. View can be with you.
I think I'm gonna bring View with me.
Okay, I'd say
Just
yeah. Go ahead.
just to with the conversation that they had with View in regards to not being kind of just the solitude.
Yeah.
Kind of not being conducive to their feelings. So maybe an initial interaction with other folks and other people. Theo thinks that is a good idea. So
Could be
but
good.
yeah, aside from that, they're going to they don't want to use their sending because it's the only sending that they have. Oh wait, no, but the group has the necklaces.
The group has the sigils, and you also have
The
the
sigils.
bookmark if you want to update her that way.
You also
Got
made
it.
a scroll, right? With Echinacea.
I do have
That's true.
scrolls. Okay, I will use my sending. I think Xio will
Okay.
kind of just hey, I'm coming over. Be there in I don't know how long. I don't know how big the city is, so it might be a while, it might be soon, but I can see Larwith right now, and then just kind of like
Trail off.
Yeah.
You'll just hear a response. Sounds good. Like I said, I'm just busy working. I'll be here. See you soon. Love you. And as you begin to trail off, you feel as your tail is tugged for a moment as
Hello?
Isandro with his kind of pulls you in and gives you a big squeeze before you depart. Tell Aio I said hello.
Where's this coming from?
Yesterday was a hard day, and I know that lingers. It's natural. And I wanted to get close so I could tell you a secret.
I like secrets.
I know you do. Well, when you come back tonight, there will be a surprise for you.
Oh, okay. Okay. We might be back a little bit late. So
Whenever you
if
come back.
Okay.
Sort
I
of.
think Xio will, on their tiptoes,
Mm-hmm.
kiss Sandro.
Yeah, very
And
tenderly
then-
grabs the cheeks, and kisses you back, Xio, and I'm glad you're all right. And you can see the worry kind of washing away as Isandro, just is able to visualize that you are okay.
Yeah. He's going to press their horns against sort of like the base of Isandro's, kind of like this. It's a
Mhm.
similar to the way that Xio grabs folks' hands
Yep.
and like presses
Yeah.
it between their horns, but it's sort of like a base to base sort of touch.
Right.
Kind of like just grinding
Mhm.
before they kind of scurry off.
He just smiles and blows you a kiss, and then you hear Vidal, well, see you later. And
Bye.
you head off. It takes you probably about 45 minutes. You're able to find a tram not too far away from where you are and make your way to Larwith. Upon your return, we're heading into holiday break pretty soon here. So you see a lot of people kind of moving around the campus, beginning to get picked up by families, beginning to sort of like move things out of their building or moving some things in if they're staying over the holiday break. But when you make it into the building that is the dormitories, you begin to make your way up to where you know Aio's room to be. The door is shut, but she knows you're coming.
Yeah, I think even though she knows that he is coming, they're going to knock on the door regardless, and then
Absolutely.
knock first and then open and kind of just peek like a hey,
Come in.
and then yeah. And what does her room look like?
Her room is immaculate, which isn't a shock to you. It's incredibly clean, but more than that, Aio's room is an ode to both the Isle and Ulkes and Drukamesh. There is, you see an array of tapestries lining her walls in perfect geometric synchronicity, as you know them to be blankets from home that your mother probably shoved in a bag before she left, perfectly lining the walls and creating a sense of warmth here. There are plenty of flower beds here with plants from your mother's garden, these very large, almost lotus-like flowers, particularly drawing your attention toward the window. On her desk, you see an array of tinkering equipment, not dissimilar to what you've seen Monroe use in the past, but you see a lot of beakers. Specifically, what you see is a mechanism that is sort of holding a crystal up in the air, and you can see her at her desk sort of inscribing a spell scroll and sort of infusing the magic from said scroll into a spell. This is what she used to cast heal on both you and Echinacea at the Crimson Mass the night before. But yeah, it's fairly modern. It's the styles of Drukamesh with the flavors of the Isle.
Yeah. I think Xio is sort of like looking around, just like, whoa, just getting down on the table, kind of like really close to the beakers and the different gadgetry, and also walking over to like where the lotuses are and like touching the plants and feeling it, and then as while for the time being, I think Xio will kind of call out to View and just say like, do you want to sit on the windowsill for the time being?
I would love that. And it almost sounds like the glass shifting in the wind almost sounds akin to a wind chime, just this gentle as she sort of spins around and almost dives into the window as if it's a body of water. The glass ripples and moves, but it does not shatter, it does not break. But you can see her coiled dead center watching all of the movement, watching all of the life, and just absorbing all of the presence here. Yeah.
And then turns over to Aio as soon as they do that.
You see she it's very quickly done writing something. She stands up and comes over and gives you a big hug.
Yeah, Xio will hug her back. How are you today?
This is the exact face she's doing. I'm acting here. She just kind of exhales and is like an actor, a thespian, if you would. She exhales. She's not great, but better than last night. Do you want coffee or tea?
Well, I did have coffee this morning, and I don't think you want me on a third cup of coffee.
Have whatever you want.
I am. And Xio will grab her hand and then take her over to her desk and sit down. Is there another chair?
I was going to say, yeah, she kind of, as you're kind of pulling her, she reaches behind, grabs another chair, puts it across from the one that she's sitting in, and she just sits down.
And we'll also ask, do you have a roommate? Are you in the room by yourself?
I had a roommate, but I told her to leave.
Oh, okay.
I was not able to focus with her company, so I may have brokered a deal with her to get her another single on the first floor.
Wow, look at you.
I had to mop the first floor for the first 3 months here. But, it worked out. I've got the space all to myself.
Nice. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Um,
How are you doing?
Well, I'm focusing on. I'm trying to focus on not what happened last night, and I'm trying to focus on what helps me, which spirit calling is part of that. Have I told you about spirit calling?
I've heard little bits of it.
It's been nice, and it connects me to a part of the Isle that I wasn't really aware of. But first thing, I wanted to say I'm sorry about last night. I wanted to apologize about my hesitation with Dolores. I wanted to apologize about what I said in a moment of frustration.
I'm sorry too, Xio. I yelled at you, and there are better ways to communicate. I feel like we both just kind of fell back into being kids at home who yell at each other to get a point across.
That's never gonna stop, I don't think.
Siblings, it happens. But I accept your apology about what you said. I imagine you're referring to the satellite campus?
Yes.
And I do want to say, given what you saw with Dolores, I don't blame you for having hesitations. I get it. I do.
What happened to you? You said that you've... Stuff's happened.
Yeah, a lot's happened. Well, this is the first time in my entire life I've ever been away from home. I've been alone, and I had to figure it out. But to get more granular, I started doing explorative work here. And I became really interested in ruins. Old places in the world that held a lot of history, a lot of magic, and even some technology. So through the school, well, not through the school, but after meeting someone at the school, they told me about this group who, it's kind of like spelunking, but ruins, and you get to explore, and you get to dig in, and you get to just see the parts of the world that were. It became a little bit more than I thought it was. You ever heard of a group called the Preservium?
Oh, Xio just sort of like... Xio can't really hide any emotion from their sister, but this especially is just like... Yes, I'm aware.
Yeah, they suck. They're pretty bad.
Excellent. Yes, I'm glad we're on the same page with
excellent. What do you mean? Oh, you were thinking I would. I'm not. No. I am not. But I've run into them a few times, and I've seen people get hurt and die. Stealing things from us, things we've discovered and tried to bring back to either Larwith or the Magus Arcanum here in town. The Preservium's been a thorn in the side of academics across the world, and I wanted to do everything I could to, well, shit in their breakfast. And in that, people got hurt. I got hurt. I broke my arm for the first time. That hurted. A lot. Like, really bad.
Is it healed now? Are you okay?
Yeah, it's fine. But so where you've experienced adventures, I have too.
Well, like I said, I'm really glad to hear that about the Preservium. I won't share more right now, only because there is a lot that well, not just me, but a lot more that Echinacea and Whistle have come across in regards to the Preservium. And we have to be careful about... Well, I have to be careful about sharing those pieces of information. So I don't know who could be listening. But I think it would... Honestly, I think it would come really in handy if you talked to Echinacea about anything that you might know.
I
And
would love to
Whistle
talk to them
too.
more. Yeah. I would love to talk to them more. Very much so.
They're pretty active in Sunwall as well.
The Preservium.
Yes. I'm not wrong, right? They are pretty active in Sunwall.
No, yeah, they are.
Yeah,
You're correct.
okay.
You're correct. I'm not wrong, right? No.
I'm
you're
not
good.
wrong. I'm like, am I
you're-
remembering it correctly?
You are. No, you are correct. You're correct.
Yeah. Aio, there's something that I have to admit to you.
Okay.
I'm the reason why you're not in Sunwall. I know you had a full ride. I know that was your dream. But there was some stuff that I found out. Scary stuff. Some of it to do with the Preservium, and another bit to do with this entity that I met. And Xio is just going to tell Aio about everything.
And
Isteris,
yeah.
Elida, all of it. I think they're going to tell from start to finish, from
Oof.
the journey. Xio, Isteris, Xio dying,
Yep.
finding Helitis, is going to tell
Everything.
Aio about Wit, Alma being a big one, especially considering that she's part of
Yeah, she's like that bitch.
their life. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, we'll tell Aio everything.
Xio begins to tell Aio everything, and I'll say, as Xio, as you begin to see Aio processing and like letting this all sink in, the camera's gonna pan, and we're gonna move to the docks. Angie, inspiration point. Yoink. All right. Hi guys, we're at the docks. You see this kid levitating. It's kind of wild.
Echinacea immediately casts Identify.
Identify. Okay.
Yeah, to see if there are any spells affecting this kid.
Did it? You get time stop immediately, which is a 9th level spell.
Yeah.
Whistle's going to be near Echinacea,
Yep.
ready to strike if anything comes.
Perfection. Okay.
So, and time stop normally lasts
In action.
under a minute.
Under a minute, correct.
Yeah. How long has he been like this?
2 months. He was.
Okay.
like I said, he was out at sea, and something hit their ship. A lot of them came back different. Some of them, flowers growing out of their body. Some of them sort of racked with magic that didn't look like it was from here.
What do you mean by that?
It's like colors and foliage and even animals I've never seen before. I know a hobgoblin works the upper docks of the ship. Said it looked like Feywild stuff. He's from there. And then I started looking into these. What are they? Rifts, bleeds? I can't get them
Both.
straight. What?
Yes, there are both.
I think this was probably the bigger one. The rift.
Yes.
I think it hit the boat because the boat came back. I could show you guys when we're not directly in here, but it's if it weren't so terrifying, it'd be something spectacular.
You first, Whistle.
There were other survivors.
Yeah. Nobody died from this, but a lot of them were changed.
And has he aged?
No.
And that's unusual, because if time stop is noticeable to someone, then he should be rapidly aging.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he should be an old man by now.
It's unusual.
It doesn't make sense, right? How is time stop affecting him if he hasn't physically changed?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, this is magic. Give me a one. I think he's just gonna cast Dispel Magic.
And Dispel Magic is at what level?
3rd.
Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check. And Whistle, what's your passive investigation?
I believe it's 21, but I will confirm for you.
Okay.
By looking at the character sheet.
Sure.
Arcana.
It is 21.
21. And you're waiting for anything to kind of lash out.
Yeah. If anything makes like any sort of move aggressive in the room, I'm on it.
With that passive investigation, you're able to see just these sort of streams of silver just sort of lash out. It doesn't look like it's taking on any action. It doesn't look like it's malicious by any means, but you can see almost like solar flares where they just sort of burst out, and they get close to you all, but nothing seems to be affecting you all. And then I just want to get a quick check. Dolores, is there anything you're doing in here? Or are you just sort of standing back watching as well?
Dolores is definitely standing as far back as she can, like maybe even just like leaning in the doorway.
Okay.
And she's going to use a magic awareness to also try to pick up on whatever.
And could you read me the verbiage of magic awareness?
As an action, you can open your awareness to the presence of concentrated magic. Until the end of the next turn, you know the location of any spell or magic item within 60 feet of you that isn't behind a door. When you sense the spell, you learn the school of magic it belongs to.
Yeah, you get a mollywop of hits off of Whistle Echinacea. It's almost like being flashbanged for a second. It's just
Probably Casimir.
Yeah, Casimir. Dorlin, not so much. Uldiel, you get a big bing. Kaelin, you get a huge bing. But it's and obviously you above table know like the items that other people would have. So you get all of those proper pings. And off of Ellis, you get a pure ping of chronergy.
Okay.
I rolled a 25 on that Arcana.
25. You can see with that the spell magic takes, and you can see those solar flares beginning to dissipate. Seems like this is a very strong concentration of magic.
Right. It's a prolonged. It's like mechanically more than a 9th level spell, right?
Yep. So we're gonna have to make this a few checks. We're gonna keep the one casting of Dispel Magic,
Okay.
but we're gonna make this a skill challenge. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, but with that initial roll, absolutely, you see these sort of bursts of chronergy sort of whip out, these silver wisps beginning to kind of fold back in, and you're able to see a central point within the chest of not like in his person or anything, but sort of like a mirage in the light. You just see this wide expanse, this sort of cavernous natural cavern system that doesn't look to be within this plane of existence. It's made of pure silver, these sort of bright ingots sort of shooting out of the rock walls.
We see that in the space, like there's a
You see that
bleed or rift here.
You see that in the light, almost as if like you're getting flashes of it for a moment. It's not static or consistent. It's like as this is being quelled, you can see the imprint of the place that it was, where this originated from.
Whistle.
Yes, Doctor.
And you make something metal into cold iron?
I can try.
I think it would help, just like last time.
All right. Whistle's going to pull a dagger from his boot.
Mm-hmm.
And when we did the arena, what time was it? That was the night before.
That
right?
was the night before. So anything mechanically, you would have been able to change over.
Yeah, no, that's not what I'm worried about. I don't think I have my points back in thing yet.
Oh, in your
My
Divanture class?
transformation. Yeah, I think it comes back at dusk. I don't think we've had a dusk since
We
used
have
the
not
last
had a dusk
What,
since.
dusk?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No.
You want to flex cast to try and get something back?
Yeah.
Okay. How many points do you want to get back?
I need to get back at least 2 points because I need 5 to use fabricate.
Okay. That's easy stuff. So
Easy stuff.
Since you're only looking for 2, I'm gonna have you roll. Is this the first time you've done flex casting?
Yeah, first time for Whistle to
Yay!
flex cast.
So
Whistle!
I need you to roll me a D100. And we're rolling from the arcane feedback levels 1 to 3. So
Makes sense.
Okay. 44.
for the next minute, you can teleport up to 20 feet as a bonus action on each of your turns.
Cool.
Whistle got Misty Step.
Whistle got Misty.
Oh no!
Whistle
Beautiful.
hates Misty Step.
He has to go pout in the corner.
He teleports there on
He
accident.
teleports accidentally to the corner. He's like, "Fuck."
Dolores, Echinacea, and Whistle, you see as these silver strands kind of latch onto you for a moment, but does no harm. You see as almost the metal from your rings becomes liquid and shields you for a moment, and it takes that raw magical energy and consumes it, giving you the option to use those three slots.
Perfect. Okay, then I am going to
David,
expend
inspiration
them all.
point for that collaboration. I really like that shit. Take that. Yoink.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so you transmute.
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking to transmute?
So Whistle's got the dagger in his hand. We're gonna make it cold iron, but as far as what it's gonna be, Echinacea, is there like a particular instrument or anything that you've used when you do like medical exams, like a stethoscope?
I like that. Yes, I think that you have seen Echinacea use a stethoscope on you before. I think they've also commented that your heartbeat remains remarkably low in the midst of combat. They're like, you are so healthy. You have this
This is
memory of
crazy.
Echinacea. Just being, also, I have anxiety, so comparison is just.
And then Whistle's going to pull out the dagger, hold it in his palm, and as he kind of lets it go, it kind of floats magnetically just in his palm, and he'll whisper to it in Orthrin, casting Fabricate, and it'll go into like its liquid form, kind of slurp and drip into his palm into like a disc.
Yeah.
As he turns his palm over and kind of drips out into the other hand, he's kind of pulling his fingers together and just kind of pulls together the strands of the stethoscope.
I'd say with that first roll, you guys see as these bouts of silver, this raw chronergy magic that has just sort of latched itself onto Ellis begins to fade from the eyes. You see it slowly starting to retreat. We're going to go into our second check here. Echinacea, give me another Arcana check as your Dispel magic begins to take hold here. And then Whistle, you've got that. You've got your Fabricate going. Pitch a roll here for me. And Dolores, is there anything you're doing here, or are you staying as far back as possible still? Still staying as far back as possible.
Doesn't know how to deal with any of this.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna use an inspiration point.
Okay.
I'm not
I
proficient in
rolled a
it.
3.
And remember, you still have a Bardic Inspiration from Aedwulf.
I forgetted. Okay,
That's a
so
D8.
it's 19.
19 total.
Yes.
Okay. You see as the magic begins to lash out, David, what's the roll you're given? Because this'll could potentially change some things.
I think the roll that makes sense here is medicine.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not proficient in it, so it's going to be just kind of a flat roll.
Okay. We're going on averages now since it's the both of you collaborating on this. So
Okay. I think medicine is wisdom, right? Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Plus 2. Okay, 16 plus 2.
18.
For 18. I'll just, if it helps, I'm also going to throw the Fortune of the Many.
And so we'll say
plus 3.
no, plus plus more, because it's based on allies, correct?
Yeah, but I can only do up to a maximum of 3 allies.
Okay, so with those rolls, there's a second where you can see that imagery. It's almost like when you look at something really bright, when you blink, right? Like the imprint of that is kind of still left in your vision. That begins to get brighter and brighter for a second, as it seems like for a second this magic is about to unleash again. How do you guys quell it? Paint me a picture.
Oh, stop it.
Stop.
Dispel magic is not a concentration spell, so Echinacea is going to cast Protection from Evil and Good, which includes Fey.
Yep.
And they're going to cast that onto
Ellis. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And what does this look like? What does Protection from Evil and Good look like? I don't think we've gotten this flavoring before.
But yeah, it hasn't been in a minute. Echinacea sees this space glowing brighter, and they remember the Feywild Bleed and Io way back at the beginning of this story.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Echinacea just presses a thumb to Ellis's forehead, and there's this little moth that flickers for an instant. In the shape of Harold of Doom, but teeny miniature, and it sort of orbits Ellis's head like a halo, and there's this pale blue magic minery that boom, there's this bell sound as it coats him, and I hit my glasses.
Oh no, you absolutely see as like it's almost as if it's the shadow from this miniature versions of Harold's wings that sort of begins to quell the imagery as well. You can hear just not today, almost like the little voice of him sort of manifesting in this little icon. David, we'll get from you, and then Lou, I saw your hand up, so we'll touch on that. So David, what does this look like with Whistle?
Ooh, so as the light flashes, I think Whistle's going to try to close the distance with Ellis and just kind of gently keep him in place and stabilized. And I'll use Gentle Repose.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay. What does Gentle Repose look like?
As the light kind of begins to flash, Whistle just strides forward. His hands reach out through the light, grabs Ellis's shoulders, not roughly, but kind of in like a stern grip, to make sure he doesn't have any sort of like flailing or anything like that. And as Whistle restrains him, I think just kind of the residual Divanthier magic just kind of flowing like a magnetic kind of like pulse into the body, creating sort of like internal resonances that'll just kind of help stabilize them.
I love that. Perfect. Dolores.
Dolores subconsciously cast absorb elements.
Ooh, okay.
It's like a way to back up, but I think something in her is calling and connecting to that chaos magic. And so as she takes a step further back, kind of out of fear, I think there's still something in her that wants to absorb and connect through that. So even though she's recoiling, there's magic kind of arcing, connecting with her Divanthier enhancements and like the kind of chaos that runs through her flame magic. Yeah.
Okay. So give me a performance check here.
Yeah. Oh, and then also just as like a way to kind of siphon off some of the excess magic and element there. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Inspiration point for Lou. We did it.
Yay!
Not even an hour in. Everybody's got one.
Performance is 15.
Paint us a picture.
It was that.
Oh, it was that cool. I'm dumb. All right. But yeah, you absolutely begin to pull, and I'll say Whistle and Echinacea, you begin to see as like these rogue elements just start lashing onto Dolores as it sort of shifts into the morphic armament and then settles. And then it latches onto the leg and it settles, and you see part of it sort of hits that metallic kintsugi like crescent moon scar on the temple, and it makes it almost this like burnished gold color as it just latches on. Dolores aiding you guys in keeping this process going, and this will dictate one more roll. So we're going to, you can see as that silver light begins to fade more and more, Arcana, Medicine, and another performance from all of you.
I think seeing that, seeing the cold iron stethoscope and seeing everything latch on to Dolores, Echinacea's just paused for a second in marvel at two people in this space who they have a pretty fair idea with Whistle and are less certain, but have a feeling about Dolores, aren't necessarily trained in this, still like just the capacity and like the adaptability. They're just incredibly impressed by it.
Perfect.
Thank you. Wow. I rolled well. 16 plus 19 is a number.
16 plus 19 is
25 again. Yes?
16 plus 19 is 35.
Oh, it's 16 plus 9. Sorry,
Okay,
Pathfinder.
That's 25.
I looked at today. 25.
That's I was like, but that's
misspoke.
much bigger.
I'm
You're fine.
Critical success.
Critical success. There's technically in that instance, yes. But David, what'd you get for medicine?
Oh,
You're like, I don't know.
sorry,
I didn't
I didn't
roll.
realize. Yeah, I didn't realize I was going to roll it again.
We're all doing this together. We're all in this together.
Okay, 12 plus 2 for another 14, and I'll throw another fortune of the many on there for 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dolores, what's that performance?
28.
Okay.
Wow.
Each of you see as this pure mote of chronergy that originated from the Feywild is pulled from the chest of Ellis, and with the dispel magic sort of constricting it in this plane that is not native to its own, this protection from good and evil sort of lording over it, making sure it cannot harm anybody native to this plane. The stethoscope sort of bombarding it with resonance to keep it contained, and Dolores taking any sort of remnants that are lashing out. You see, as the magic is dispelled and washed away, Ellis very quickly falls to the bed and just
Oh, okay. Hello.
And set him down easy.
Yeah, I was about to say, because he's in Whistle's arms, right?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
this gentle.
Perfect. And Warren very quickly comes up, scoops him, and just holds his brother tight and just begins to sob. And Ellis is like, I just saw you. What are you crying for? Come on, relax, big brother. You're being a little... It's like, he's not even saying words. He can't. He's just leaning down, kissing Ellis on the cheek, and he's like, come on, we got company. Like, it's very clear that Ellis does not register what has happened here, but you all have successfully removed the chronergy from within Ellis.
And the way he's talking, it sounds almost like the opposite of time stop occurred, where
Mhm.
instead of time stopping for everyone outside of Ellis and Ellis moving around and doing his thing, Ellis was frozen in time. So
Exactly.
it's like time stop was cast by someone else, but only he was caught in.
But only he was affected by it, yes.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Okay.
Whistle's gonna go up to Dolores while this is all going on, and Echinacea's, checking on them and stuff. Whistle's gonna kind of move over to the edge of the room and go, "Good work."
What the fuck did we just do? She's like flexing her hand and kind of like she'd never, I don't think she's casted absorb elements before. Like this is the first time.
Oh.
I've never seen anything like that. What are you? She looks at the the dagger, the cold iron dagger that Whistle transmuted.
We've all got our thing.
Dorlin is in the... Oh, sorry.
That's not very...
To be perfectly honest, I don't know. I don't understand a lot of the things we do. I'm just an old soldier, but it feels good nonetheless.
Dorlin, very quickly. I want to become a wizard immediately. That was fucking rad. Incredible job. And Casimir, kind of very, studious and analytical. It seems like you all quelled the effects of a planar rift. Isolated to the body of this individual.
Yes, but there's still a Feywild rift out in the ocean. That seems incredibly dangerous.
Very dangerous. Well...
But we did do it! Hey, we did it! Echinacea looks from Casimir to Kaylin to Dorlin, and then their eyes snap to Whistle and Dolores. You two! What? That was amazing! You made a cold iron stethoscope.
Instinct. It looked appropriate.
It was. And Dolores, what did you do? You have magical aptitude, clearly, between last night and today.
Well, I was able to, I think, absorb some of the elemental runoff. I'm not quite sure.
Do you feel okay?
You feel
think
fine.
so. You helped him. Like,
I
you
think we
actually
did.
helped him. Who are you people?
Roll
Who
credits.
the fuck are you?
Well, I think we helped him. I think, especially given that performance check, I think that by the end of that experience, there was like no doubt that Dolores was helming in some way, the drawing, like the siphoning of that magic. So Echinacea, like after like fussing, like they go to fuss over Ellis, and then they see that Warren and Ellis are having a moment. They're like, that can wait. They turn around and they fuss on over Dolores.
And
I need to fuss
as
on
the
something.
fussing occurs, Dolores, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
You're alone.
16?
That is a failure. You feel for a moment as there is almost like a tension on your waist, around your chest, kind of drilling into that that wound in your temple. And you are going to take I'll just give you the number here. You're going to take 33 points of psychic damage.
Whistle.
What?
Fucking, why did I say whistle?
Who am I?
Dolores screams
Add
and
it to
she
the
kind of
tally.
just drops down to her knee. Like, you can hear the Divanthier. It's the Divanthier leg that like crumbles, so it's like a loud like dink as like her weight drops, and her hands cling to her head as she screams.
Dolores?
32?
33.
33. Okay.
And that's where we're going to take our first break. All right, everybody. We'll pick back up.
Leave her alone!
We'll pick back
You
up.
just got here!
We'll pick back.
Do you
up
have
with
another new character?
We'll pick back up with the Marino twins when we return to Known Realms Tolesh. See you guys in a bit. Bye. Bye.
Just very.
can see and hear you. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Known Realms. Tolesh. We will pick back up after Xio has told their sister everything. Xio, you look at Aio and give me an insight check here. I think that's
on
kinda...
my own sister. I understand.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Which one is going to do me well?
You're like staring at your dice. Which one of you can I bring
Insight.
to the function?
Oh, that's not bad. Okay, so a 16 plus an 8. So 24.
24. Okay.
Mhm.
At the description of your adventures, right? So meeting up with the party, finding that first orb, pursuing the orbs, Isteris, meeting Helitis, Wit, Ulma, everything that you've done with the party up until this point, you see the whole range, right? I think there's a very visible concern for you. She's very clearly seeing you in a different light, and that's not an inherently negative thing, right? Like you hear the things that somebody has been through, and it reshapes your perspective of them. With the 24, it's very clear that once Theo says, "I'm the reason you didn't get to go to Sunwall," there is sadness, there is frustration, there is anger, there is resentment is far too strong a word. But there is very visible, like, how could you do this to me?
Mm-hmm.
Like an understanding of you knew this is what I wanted. There's a lot of, it's not conflict. Maybe there's a lot of conflict in her. There's the urge to be like, and she does say, like, that's a lot. That is a lot. That I'm so sorry I'm sorry. And some of it sounds scary, some of it sounds beautiful, and some of it I know is still happening. A lot of it's still happening. That's a lot, and I'm processing. Yeah.
I can see it in you that you are still processing, and with Sunwall,
brow furrows.
The risk of something happening to you because of Isteris. Something that I put into motion.
You put into motion, Xio. He manipulated you. You lie. From everything you're saying, he reached out and made a pact with a kid. You didn't set any of this in motion. None of this is your fault. You understand that, right? This is Isteris's fault. It's Ulma's fault. It's the Magus Arcanum's fault? That I don't get. But I'm processing. Don't take on the burden for Isteris. Fuck him.
You're right. Of course, you're right. But it's hard to separate the idea that I still was part of it, and that aiding him in all of that could have resulted in something bad happening at Sunwall and you being there, and that scared me. And it doesn't even matter because you've had awful things happen to you regardless.
Awful things are going to happen. It may have happened, but look at us. We're still both here. And Xio, I am mad right now about Sunwall. I am very mad. Because that was all I ever wanted. Was to be an engineer. And I'm stating a feeling. I'm not blaming you, but it just feels like you took something away from me. But I believe everything you're saying. And I believe that you think I would not have been safe there. I trust that this came from a place of love. But I need to process that for a bit. I'm gonna have feelings about it for a while. Wait, is that why Declan's here?
I asked him to take you on as an apprentice.
His life was uprooted.
I didn't think he would come here. I just thought he might bring you to Io the Lore. And in hindsight, that's a good thing that you guys were not in Io the Lore.
Yeah. Like, obviously, that was the most recent shit you told her about. She's like,
yeah,
pretty happy I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But I think therein lies the point. You thought you thought Sunwall was danger, and what would have happened if I did go to Iothalor? You would have blamed yourself. But even then, it still wouldn't have been your fault. You're not responsible for the actions of anyone other than yourself. Anyone other than yourself. Which I know you know. I'm just... I'm always going to think about what could have been at Sunwall. Always. But on the other hand, I'm always going to know that my sibling will do anything they think is right to protect me. The best way you can protect me is to be honest with me and tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
And now that everything is out there, we can both just be honest with each other.
I promise you, Io, I'm not going to blame myself for everything that has happened, but I will take accountability for this.
Good,
Please.
you should take accountability for that. Yeah, absolutely. That is on you. There's like, it's almost like the disbelief laugh. Like it's just the, oh God, like there's so much that's being thrown on my plate. And like, obviously that's both sides, right? She's told you some stuff that is like, you've been kind of contending with the Preservium, and then you've recounted the entire Known Realms Tolesh adventure, and she's just like, what the fuck? And there's... I'm glad that you've had Echinacea and Lazuli and Whistle and Sir and Nivian and Kaylin and Lucian, and you've met a lot of really cool people. Nisandro, Xio, I'm angry with you, but I am very proud of you. Because I see what you're trying to do. And I think what you're trying to do is really noble. All you've ever wanted to do is protect people. And you've only tried to do that in the best way you know how.
I'm trying.
I know. Do Mom and Dad know?
No.
Oh, I'm gonna fucking go insane. Okay, you have to tell Mom and Dad. Tell Dad first.
I told Dad about the primordial orbs, and I did tell him about Istrus. I haven't told him because there was that conversation that they had
exactly, yeah.
In Istrus's castle.
Exactly. You did have a very interesting sending conversation with your father.
Yeah. He knows plenty, not all of it, and I'm sure that if he knows, Mom knows. But everything after that,
I don't know about that.
he doesn't know about Isandro. He
knows about Whistle, obviously, which is God.
I did tell him about Whistle, yes.
I'm sure he loved that.
Well, he warned me.
That was Alec. That wasn't. I was doing a.
Yeah. In the interest of being honest with you, Aio, just so you know, I'm going to be paying for part of your tuition, and I don't want any ifs and or buts. So, I'm going over to the bursars and seeing what I can put down.
I will accept your help on one condition.
What would that be?
Understand that I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing.
I would not expect you to do anything else.
You have kind of big brothered me the entire time you've been here, which I appreciate the intent to protect me. I've been punched in the face before. But you know what I did?
Who do I have to punch back?
I actually punched them back too. Xio, I'm an artificer now. You told me once that there would be a point where I'd run to something. Where I'd see it in my mind, just like you saw how passionate you were about the Bright Fury, and you would run toward it. And I found that. Not in the place that I expected, not in the place that I wanted to be, but I found it. And for as angry as I am at you, I wouldn't be here without you. I wouldn't have found it without you. I wouldn't have met Dolores, who is my best friend. Sorry, it was Luca. I wouldn't have met Declan, who is the sweetest man I've ever met. And I wouldn't have found a confidence that I've only seen in you. So fuck you for sending me here, but thank you for sending me here.
I'll take it. Curse and all.
Curse and all. She gets up and she squeezes you and just hugs you. And When you go home, I'll go with you.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I want to make sure the satellite campus gets off on the right foot. And Estrus fucked with my family too. And I'm not letting that stand.
All right. Well, we are going to be here for a while and researching. I'm also curious about your spelunking and curious, has Zio heard the name Ithril?
I think that's been
Has
talked about in the
Echinacea?
open. Yeah.
Has it been talked about?
And I think it's been discussed above table that Echinacea has delved Minrian runes before.
Yes.
In the
Okay.
That has absolutely been talked about. If that's where you're headed there.
Yeah. Have you heard about someone named Ithril or Minrian runes?
I know of Minrian runes. I've looked at one or two myself. They're beautiful places. Ithril? I know Dolores knows her. I've met her once. She is scary, but in a fun way.
Oh, okay. Oh, good to know. Or actually, I think Echinacea has history with her.
That's wild. Can I just say, I don't know if you've seen it. Echinacea and I are very similar.
You are. Yes, you are.
I like them very
I-
much.
I noticed it. Coming here. Yeah. But we might be doing a little bit of spelunking at some point.
Oh, I demand to come.
I thought you would. So, I have to do research on a mage called Kata. So if you know anything about that, you can point me in the right direction.
That one, she's
Yeah.
like, I don't know about that. But I can take you to the library.
I do have to meet up with the rest of the group. I told them I'd come talk to you and then go find them.
Okay. Well, yeah, go find him, and then we can meet at the library.
Yeah, perfect. And are you okay? Am I?
I will.
I know I'm not forgiven, and I don't expect you to forgive me for that. But I love you.
I love you too. I love you too, and I am going to be okay. You should take me next time you go spirit calling. I want to see what you can do.
Absolutely. And then immediately turns over to the window again and says, "We're heading out, View. Do you want to say hello?" And then kind of reaches the hand out to the window to allow the snake figure to sort of come up and for Aio to see them.
Aio is stricken by this creature and just begin to introduce themselves, and you sort of moves from you and kind of coils around Aio. And yeah, the two of you sort of come to this understanding. And yeah, how's Zio feeling as he begins to depart his sister's room?
There's a sensation of relief, and there is a weightlessness to their steps. It feels like being in the elemental plane of air in that space. And there's still that heaviness from knowing that their sister is upset over certain information.
Yeah.
But it feels it feels weightless. And I think rather than go find the group, because we had agreed to meet at the library, right?
I think everybody did agree to meet at the library. So
okay, I think rather than go find the group just as reminding myself of that, I think
Yep.
instead Zio will just like ask Aio if she wants to stretch her legs and go to the library and,
Okay.
and
Absolutely.
wait for the group.
And she absolutely agrees. You kind of walk out feeling that weightlessness. And yeah, you guys head to the library. Okay, perfect. Angie, inspiration point. Nicely done. And we'll transfer over to Whistle, Echinacea, and Dolores. You guys see Ellis in Warren's arms. Each of you sort of taking this in, and Dolores at this point in time has just screamed outward, kind of clutching her head.
Dolores, I think Echinacea, because they were heading to fuss,
Yeah.
goes from like default fussery to like dropping to their knees, holding her shoulders, because she dropped, correct?
She
Mhm.
dropped to her knees, yeah.
Just a kneel, yeah, so like one knee.
They'll cast light and use it to like look at her pupils. What's happening? What's wrong?
Please, not the light in my
Okay.
I feel like that's like the worst feeling ever.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about it.
Oh no.
Something must have happened when I absorbed the elements. I'm not sure. She looks down at her hands, or just inspects herself.
You can see as the limbs, your morphic armaments, the arm and the leg, kind of are like there's this bit of resonance to them that's not dissimilar from the way that Nikolai was resonating. Almost like there's some sort of feedback. Mm-hmm.
Weird.
I'm so sorry. May I heal you?
Please,
Okay.
can you do what you did to him?
I can. Which one?
Fix me,
you want
doctor.
Well, I'm not.
Fix me,
So-
doctor.
I mean, I can cast Identify on you if you consent, or Protection from Evil and Good will protect you from the Fae. Spell magic. So a lot of magic was happening to you last night. Sort of around you. Is that a normal experience, or is that new?
Oh, you mean the wild magic reactions?
Wild
That's
magic.
that's is that what it's called? Or something like that. Anyway.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've had that for a while.
Do you enjoy having that?
Not really. It's a product of a accident that quite similar to this situation.
Contact with a rift? With a Feywild rift?
I guess that's what it was. I wasn't sure for a while.
You don't have to. Sorry.
You mean to say it's still out there? She looks
Well.
back to fucking Boromir. What's his name?
Ellis.
Ellis.
Boromir?
I thought it started with a B.
No, Warren is the Echo Knight
One
fighter
does not
that you guys
simply walk
fought,
into a Feywild rift.
and then you shall not pass.
Anyways,
And then the
Ellis.
Warren and Ellis.
She
Middle
looks
name's
Ellis.
Boromir.
Yeah, middle name is Boromir. Yeah,
Although maybe she would just fucking say
just
the
say
wrong name.
Boromir.
Anyway. I didn't know it was still out there. Or is it a different one? This happened over 10 years ago.
Do you remember where?
the ocean?
It happened probably 25 miles away from the Scorched Isle, as you were sailing away from from the port city of Tatahi.
That is retold.
Okay, so a different one. Okay. Because this one is rather close to Wolkes, as I understand it.
Warren nods. You'd be correct. It's probably about 50 miles from the shoreline.
Okay. Okay. So, I don't know about the one where you had that experience, whether or not it's still there. Xio knows a lot more about the Scorched Isle than I do. They might have some insight. Whistle, you've been there too. But maybe we...
Whistle's like, I have indeed been there. I will say,
you encountered?
Whistle, in your time when you were sailing on raids to the Scorched Isle, no, you had not experienced any sort of rift or bleed, because your occupations, those were probably about 20 years ago. Like, the twins were young. Iolus was very much in his prime. So about 20 years ago, no, you weren't rocking with any bleeds or rifts in the ocean that you saw.
Yeah.
Back in my day, the seas were still fairly clear.
I'm going to honor the passive investigation of 21. You'll definitely have seen parts of the land that look as if they were inflicted by Shadowfell rifts or bleeds. Specifically, very remnant, very reminiscent of what you saw with Olmar. The land just sort of like charred black, these sort of wisps of spirits, very similar.
Sure.
Yeah, Feywild Bleeds or rifts, I don't remember. But perhaps I have vague recollections of some shadowy elements at play in the area.
See. And Warren, does that ring a bell for you and your companion?
Shadowfell activity in the Scorched Isle?
Warren.
What?
Where did you... is that where you met your companion?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, I was confused.
I'm asking about whether or not there might be Shadowfell activity in Jirkamesh or wherever you encountered it.
Alec got mixed up. It's not Warren being an idiot. Alec was not connecting the thread. That's my fault.
His driver.
The driver is like referencing notes and being like, what about the island?
We're jumping ahead.
Jesus. Warren does... it's shadowy wisps, and I remember feeling real sickly when I passed through, and when I met my other half. He sort of moves around for a map and sort of marks a bit of the Drukamishian wildlands, and I'll move you guys over to the map here.
Hell yeah. As he's doing that, Echinacea is going to cast Cure Wounds at 2nd level on Dolores. You regain 25 hit points.
You.
Yeah, they'll turn away as Warren is unrolling a map and just sort of help you up by your shoulders, and you feel this warmth for a moment at either shoulder. One, like, maybe, I don't know how much sensation Dolores has in her Divanthier arm, but at least one of your arm feels that warmth, and your wounds your, like, the headache starts to clear.
So marked on the map is an X a bit northeast to Ulkes, kind of in that centralmost point between Ulkes, Angocourt, and Calmont. Warren sort of points it out. That's where she and I met. And there,
Okay.
yeah, what Whistle described, it sounds familiar.
So there's a Shadowfell rift or bleed out there, and then a Feywild bleed in the ocean about 50 miles offshore.
Right. And I'll mark that as well.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, due east or...
Yeah, about right. Well, that's way too far. Like right here.
Southeast. Okay. Meow.
Yeah, Whistle
Whistle
just
tracking.
mewing, yeah.
Meow.
Thank you.
So, okay.
Looks like Tricomesh is rather unstable.
You guys dealt with this shit before?
Yes. We enclosed a Feywild bleed in Iothalor, and we closed a Shadowfell rift in, that near Ilinbel.
Alright.
Both on Tolesh.
You can fix them?
Yes, you can sort of reknit them, with what's called a Ragwar machine.
Oh god. She looks at you guys with the party with like fresh eyes, just realizing the caliber of the people that she's around. So is that why you're here now?
Well, I'm adding it to our list.
Yeah.
We were just passing through.
What time is it, by the way?
In game or real life?
Yeah.
Okay.
In-game.
I was like,
What time is it?
this could have
Like,
multiple
Hey,
Hey
answers.
guys, what time is it?
I'd say right now, you guys headed there pretty early in the morning. It's probably about 11 a.m. right now.
Okay.
Between travel time and Zio, obviously, same for you. We'll keep that
Second
consistent.
breakfast.
Second breakfast, yeah.
Yes.
I'm hungry. Let's see.
Well, if you guys want to close that one, maybe I can scrounge some allies to move out and do that. I still got some Hexer connections. Maybe they'd be willing to help. Maybe, especially since they're the monstrous variety there.
Yes. How do they feel about your corpore?
They see her as a parasite. They didn't take kindly to her. That's why I was asked to leave. Welcomed her in. They viewed me as compromised to a foreign entity within my body, bonded to my soul. But I gave her my word. I'm going to help her, and I'm going to stick to that.
You two also made a pact.
Is that what that is? Yeah, we made a pact.
Aedwulf and I made a pact to get his body back, among other things.
Among other things.
We're not going to talk about it.
He puts his hands up. I'm not owed any of your secrets. I just promised her that I'd get her home. We just got to figure out where home is.
Oh. Well, I mean, if you came from the from the Shadowfell Rift, it stands to reason that going through the Shadowfell Rift will get you closer to home. Although home, that's big. I don't pretend to know the geography of the Shadowfell, but I imagine it's vast.
I will say, I do declare, I almost said that just in earnest. I do declare. I do declare that it's pretty clear that the shadow behind Warren kind of like nods excitedly. Whistle, you're very Echinacea, you see that as you're communicating with Warren. Whistle, that passive investigation, you're very much able to see that. Dolores, I think it's pretty clear that you're kind of like, holy shit, my life could change. I could be normal again.
Yeah.
So I'd say you're a bit distracted here as you're kind of in awe of the caliber of the group that you find yourself standing next to. But you two specifically see Warren's other half, like just kind of like nodding. It's very clear that she has some issues communicating verbally. That seems to be something that she has not been able to gain back.
Okay.
I love her
thumbs
very
up.
much.
Thumbs up if it's okay, and thumbs down if it's not. Are you comfortable receiving a message?
2 very big thumbs ups in the Warren is coddling Ellis, who is like, all right, you're being a little much. But the shadow is standing just like Denki Kaminari, the very, very much that.
Oh. Okay. Echinacea will message the Corberay. Do you remember your name? The name of where you're from?
Which one first, my name or where I'm from?
Whichever you like.
I'm Claire. My
Hi,
name
Claire.
is Claire. Claire.
Oh.
She's like, she hasn't heard her name said, so she just kind of repeats it, and you just hear a very audible like, oh, from Eadwulf. Like this is a very familiar thing for them. I was a druid, and that patch of land where I met Warren, that's where my grove was.
In the material?
No, in the reflection of the Shadowfell. It was in the Shadowfell.
I see.
And then it just happened.
It just happened.
I heard this loud whirring out of nowhere, and then it was almost like an explosion. And then sorry, Maple jumped in the bathtub. Now she's upset because Shannon wants to take her out of the bathtub.
Baby.
She likes it in there.
Bathtub.
She loves it. She loves it. If one of us are in the bathroom, she's like, "Oh, Beth." She loves that chip. Anyway, the last thing I heard was people running, and it wasn't our people. I knew that. They looked like they were in dark armor.
I see. That would be the Shadow Court. And they have a Ragwar machine as well, which they are using to open these rifts.
They did it on purpose.
On purpose, yes. But the good news is, we have one too. And we can get you back there. If you want.
I'd like that very much.
We have some business while we pass through, but once we have a better handle on our time frames, Echinacea looks at Whistle. We will talk to our group about it because not everyone is here, but I am interested. I'm just letting you know that I'm interested.
Claire.
Why are you here? if not for the rifts. Sorry to interrupt. She looks at the shadow like, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Claire just goes,
Like I said, we were just passing through.
We've...
I'll just let you guys know. Whistle likes Dolores.
Whistle's
doesn't
being
necessarily
dodgy.
feel it doesn't necessarily feel like dumping everything on
That
Dolores.
answers my question. So please give me a deception check, because you're definitely not just passing through.
Yeah.
And Dolores, give me an insight check.
Okay. I also know that you guys are probably not going to. She's, just gonna be like, she's trying to put this stuff together.
Yeah.
That's a 2. It's a nat 1 plus 1.
Do you have an inspiration point?
Yeah, I got a couple, but I don't need it. I'm not going to use them.
You're
here.
like, let it ride.
Whistle's not a good liar sometimes.
That's blatantly false.
Yeah.
Are you
Nat 20.
Oh,
Yeah. Wow.
Okay,
Very
so
opposite of the
David,
spectrum.
yeah, that's actually crazy. So David, paint Dolores a picture of what she clocks in that deceptive little face of yours.
Yeah. Dolores, you, like I said, I think Whistle seems to like you, but doesn't necessarily 100% trust you, and isn't. I think doesn't want to go into too much detail about like the deeper business of the party's up to.
She'll just put her hands up. Well, all right. Keep your secrets.
Appreciated.
Yeah, and then to your question, Echinacea, Claire just says, I wouldn't mind having a little bit more time with Warren. I'm eager to go home, but I'm not raring to leave him just yet.
That makes sense to me. I can make him some potions of necrotic resistance, and maybe he can see your grove. Send you off properly.
I think that'd be swell. Thank you.
Of course, Claire. Aidwolf, did you want to talk to Claire?
I think you're very quickly able to see as Aidwolf sort of leans over, Echinacea's shadow very much becoming a wolf and sort of leaning in and sitting in front of Warren's shadow as the two of them just kind of touch base. And Aidwolf's very affirming, like, I know this is scary. I know this is a lot. Things seem different. And I'm, kind of just like explaining the process and like kind of doing whatever they can to mend any like anxieties or fears or anything like that, affirming that it looks like she has a great partner and talking about his experience with having a great partner. And it's a very lovely moment between two Corbrae who are on their path to finding their way home. Absolutely.
Well then, Claire, and Echinacea will relay, Claire wants a little more time with Warren anyway. We are passing through. And Echinacea, I think, does not help. I think Echinacea is a part of the Nat 1.
Makes it worse.
We are passing through, and so we have some passing through to do, and then we will get a hold of you. Warren.
Understood. Thank you much. I appreciate it. Now, I'll reach out to my Hexer buddies and see if there's anyone who can help.
Thank you. If you speak to Ithril, mention Echinacea Belrose.
Ithril. All right. You two on speaking terms.
It's been about a half a century, but we've been there.
Let her know.
All right. And if they give you problems about your Corbrae, I mean, you can give them the details of the mission. I imagine they will be raring to go.
I think I got this. Thank you.
And don't go back to the Crimson Mask, please.
I got a new lease on life. I ain't doing it. Thank you for that. And thank you for... Ellis has finally pushed himself free and is just... Nice to meet you. I'm Ellis. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.
Your brother loves you very much.
I am aware. It's like disheveled.
Don't let him go to any more fighting pits. I know that he was doing it to pay for doctors, and that is deeply valid.
We're going to have a
and
conversation
understandable.
about that, and it's not going to be one that he's going to like very much.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did he even know about the fighting pits?
He does now.
Yeah, I was gonna say Echinacea just
And-
totally snitched on him.
I didn't mean to.
All right.
Echinacea T-posing.
If you could all give me the...
You got quiet.
Yeah. It'll pick up here.
If you guys can give me the room, I'm going to tear my brother a new one. Lovingly, of course.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Turns around. What is your problem? Starts yelling at him. The Crimson Mask! You guys depart, and Dorlin is very much spinning about wizardry, and Casimir kind of leans forward. You are going to have a phenomenal teacher. And Dorlin very coldly kind of turns on a heel and walks forward. Casimir just kind of...
Whistle shrugs at Casimir.
Okay. Well, thank you, Casimir. I intend to be a good teacher. Okay.
Echinacea falls back to Kaylin.
I'm sensing a lot.
A lot of animosity. I imagine that has a lot to do with the relationship with Casimir.
I don't know what to do about it.
The only thing you can do is talk to them.
I don't know what to say.
Well, if you don't know for certain, the first thing to do is possibly ask Dorlin what he is feeling and why. Get a straight answer from him, and if it is about Casimir and what happened there, talk to Casimir about it. See if they had the conversation. I can't...
I would like not to have to be the manager of other people's feelings, but you're right, because I want to know. So I will do that. It's my job. I will do it.
It's not your job. The time I've spent with Dorlin, he's only looked at Casimir with disdain. There's only one reason I can think of why, and it is the fact that he held you captive for 3 months.
I imagine you're right. There are... I'm going to sound less than objective. There are so many extenuating circumstances, and he and Sir are the reason that I'm not imprisoned anymore, too.
I know, and I know that's true. From what he knew, you were gone. He had no idea that you were locked in the Feywild, held in the Winter Court in Amber by Koliada. He had no idea. He knew nothing. He didn't know what happened to Lorien, to Thandoril. He didn't know that the Corporate had latched to him, corrupted him at the behest of Koliada. He didn't know that Casimir had taken you prisoner for a crime you did not commit. And Casimir was the only person with power to tell him any of that.
I mean, Zarini could have too.
But Zarini isn't here right now. Casimir is.
That's true. I don't know what to say when everything he must be feeling is valid. But I love Casimir, and he's trying, and he's working on being better, and and he's sorry.
I know. Do you want me to talk to Dorlin? Maybe you talk to Casimir?
No, I'll do both. I should.
It is not your responsibility to manage their feelings.
No, but I love them, and I want to know their feelings. So no, I will talk to them. Thank you for helping me process this. It's so new. You have so much more experience with complicated siblings.
8 very complicated siblings. Yes, I am well versed in messy familial dynamics. Sendrix is a hell of a place. I have brothers that deem me a traitor. I have some of those who are empathetic in private.
Kaelin, if you wanted, we could make them bookmarks. I have magic to send said bookmarks. As long as they're on this plane, if you wanted to talk to them.
I have thought about it.
You don't have to.
Give me a little bit more time to think about it, but I think I may take you up on that.
Echinacea hooks their arm around Kaelin's, and I think the two just walk quietly together, giving each other space, and eventually, like in that, like, giving each other time to think, they also, like, both, because they have the cantrip, pull out their message rings and then just message little nothings back and forth just as they go, being very cutesy and dumb.
Very cutesy, very demure, very lovely. Okay. Whistle, Dolores, anything you guys do on your way out?
I think Whistle is gonna go up to Dolores because I really want to see Dolores' reaction and say,
So, we're off to the library.
Oui.
gestures to the group.
Are you welcome to join us.
What am I gonna go read?
I figured I'd ask. Do you know where it is, though?
That I do know. Suppose I can be your tour guide for your secret missions.
As you can see, we are important people.
She rolls her eyes. Yeah, what is Whistle? How does Whistle walk through streets?
Oh, Whistle's pretty paranoid right now, and a lot of the time, but he tries to play it cool. So he does a lot of like glancing around, but anybody that kind of pops around a corner quickly or anything, I mean, he reacts to. He's very alert. I would say is probably just the one-word summary of Whistle walking through streets.
Mm-hmm. And then, in what order? Like, are you in the front? Are you in the back?
I think at some point we probably did see. Actually, I would say Whistle's probably just alongside Dolores.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Or like where she would probably walk next to him.
Yeah. I think we're like shoulder to shoulder.
Mm-hmm. You're a jumpy fellow, aren't you? As you're reacting to someone turning a corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Certain skills you pick up when you're just trying to do your best to stay alive.
Seems like you did pretty well.
So far, so good.
She, I guess we're walking ahead of the front because she knows where she's going. But yeah, she puts her hands in her pockets, just strides with a little bit of a swagger, but nothing too crazy, and keeps her head down because she does have a few people that don't like her. But not too. She's not sneaky, but she's just not trying to draw attention to herself too much. At least with this crew.
Yeah.
And leads you to the library.
I think he'll point that out. You still kind of ducking with the hood up.
No hood. No hood.
No hood?
No.
Okay. But kind of trying to avoid notice from certain people.
Yeah.
What about you? Look like you're keeping an eye out for something too. I suppose a prize fighter makes a few enemies.
Usually not inside the ring. She what is it? Fucking elbows you, I guess. Figuring out the verb.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I'm just gonna say.
Don't worry. We've got your back even outside the ring, as long as you're with us.
Thank you, Whistle. I'll try my best to help you in your secrets as well. She's not gonna let you live it down, but she actually isn't gonna really press. But
Yeah.
She gets it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's that.
Okay. And I will say that Xio, as you and Aio are heading to the library, it's pretty easy for you to see the rest of your companions walking up.
Hello.
Hello.
Runs over. Drags Aio along.
How does Aio look?
Give me an insight check.
How does Zia look?
Give me an insight check.
I'm using inspiration.
I rolled well. 19.
15.
I say for
I-
Zio, go ahead.
Yeah, for Zio, he looked I wouldn't say standard. There is a little bit of like a puffiness to their eyes a little bit. But there's still kind of like a smile on their face. I'm just gonna say with Dolores, you notice that he doesn't and Echinacea also as well. You notice that he doesn't have the same sort of animosity towards Dolores as he did last night. So there is just kind of like a hey Dolores. Also as well, along with that, there's no sort of that energy of like stay away from my sister kind of energy. And yeah, he looks okay.
And for Aio?
Almost exactly the same. Frayed, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
How was Spirit calling?
Oh, very good. Would you like to meet? View. And then the snake will sort of appear. This crystalline, pearlescent sort of mirror-like snake that captures the light and sort of throws out these prisms around their area. I've offered View a place on the humble abode.
A room with a view.
A
For
room
View.
with a view for View. Yes.
Get ready to hear that a lot.
Mhm.
I couldn't help myself.
And
You, what kind of Amine are you?
Glass. I am meant for. I represent reflection and desire and wanting.
Isandro and Vidal are still spirit calling, I'm sure. And I thought I'd come see Aio. Also, learned that Aio has been spelunking as well. Mhm. And has previously met Ithro. So I was thinking that whenever you go, or if we're all going on to the Minrian ruins, Aio could come along.
I would love that very much.
How would I? Whenever it makes sense during our passing through. Yes.
Casimir's like, you keep saying that.
Ah.
And there's other stuff that Aio, if you're okay with it, sis. Right? And this is like referencing the Arcanum.
Yeah, just nods.
The Perservium.
Preservium.
Perservium.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There's other stuff as well that we can potentially be discussing, but probably not right now because. And just like taps their ear.
Oh.
But research? Are we doing research?
Yes. Also, we had a question for you. Echinacea is like, how do I say this? So, Dolores was passing through, near the Scorched Isle, and encountered a Feywild, either Rift or Bleed, in the ocean, and I was wondering if you had any insight into that.
No. Would Zio have any insight? I think Zio would know about the.
You'd know about the
Not
stuff
know-
that's on the mainland,
Yeah.
but the particular event that Dolores has experienced is one you are not aware of.
Looks to Io and just kind of like, no. Have you heard about?
I mean, Dad used to tell us stories about not sailing in particular parts, but I didn't think that was for any other particular reason beside telling a story.
Yeah.
So, mate,
There. Yeah, there's some spooky stuff on the mainland, but it has to do with Mother's Hearth. And potentially the Shadowfell Rift that we know is in Mother's Heart.
Yes.
But no Feywild Rift. That's strange. You can maybe send a message to Dad, ask if he knows anything.
we could. Who's that? We could.
Who's that?
Who's that?
Dolores, if you want, I don't want to chase something if you are uncomfortable with it. It just seems like you were interested.
She's definitely rubbing her arm, and you can tell that she's pretty uncomfortable, like just talking about it casually, just in the street. And Aya would know, like a little while ago, she told Io the full story, and told Io that like she had never told anyone before. So I would know that this is a big deal that she shared this with Echinacea and everything.
Io's just kind of zeroes in on you, Dolores. What's this about?
It happened again.
Where? With who?
One of the competitors last night had a partner who had gotten caught in a storm, stuck in some kind of time magic. They were able to fix it.
Okay, we got a couple things happening here. Io is just, so maybe they can fix the wild magic rage.
Right.
And then Echinacea.
Yeah.
You get a message.
So Io, before you go into the message, Io would know with Zio telling everything about what happened with Oleander, and
it would piece together. Yeah, absolutely. And that's why she's so excited. She's like, oh fuck, they can fix it. One of the competitors. Warren was one of the competitors. Casimir, casting message to you, Echinacea.
Yes.
Did he harm you? And that's where we're going to take our last break.
Yikes!
No, of course not.
Daddy,
Of course not. Okay.
No.
We love to. But actually, before we go to break, so Io finds this out. Echinacea, you get this this message from Casimir, who is fuming next to you.
No.
Whistle, you get a sending from Vincent Morrisov.
Yeah?
Daddy Morrisov.
Daddy.
Heard back from the Skindler Crown. They have not permitted a meeting.
Boom.
Not with me. Not with you. Bad relationship, like I said. That's the end of the sending.
Boo.
And that's where we'll take our last break for the night. They can see and hear you. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Known Realms Tolesh. So we had a ring around the rosy of information and potential drama. Whistle, you've just been informed that the Scandalar Crown has refused a meeting on Vincent Morisaw's behalf. So you have that information. Nikolai, just kind of quickly in your ear. It's strange. You think they'd work in tandem.
Politics.
Oh, politics.
Politics.
And he'll just announce aloud.
Just heard from Morisov. Scandalo's not interested in meeting us.
I was like, you were going to meet the king?
Hey, yo.
Apparently not.
Apparently not. I was like kind of mixed. Echinacea Casimir is like, did he hurt you?
I need you to take a deep breath.
He starts to walk.
No, hey. Echinacea walks next to him and aloud is just like, hey, no, I need you to take a breath and listen to me.
Answer the
It's
question.
all okay. Yes. And you know what? It's okay.
It's okay
It's
that he
okay.
hurt you.
We knew, we should have known what we were getting into, and he was just doing what we had signed up for.
Which was what?
The Crimson Mask has it has death matches. It did not when it was the Sanguine Mask. And we walked in with the assumption that we could make it not as it is, and we were wrong.
So he didn't just harm you, he
Everything-
killed you.
I brought myself back right away. You would have loved the magic. You are not okay.
You
So-
you see the glint of like, I want to hear about that, but there is literal electricity just beginning to spark off as he starts walking in the direction
Nope.
you all just walked from. Well, then he
I'm-
will answer
hey.
for it.
No, he won't. Echinacea takes his hand. Angie, you raised your hand.
Yeah, I just wanted to know if this conversation is happening out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, Echinacea stopped
Okay.
using message.
Ooh.
Ooh, then Zio goes, ooh.
It's like, oh no. It's
Holding
like,
his
ooh.
face.
Yeah.
Casimir,
What?
I'm okay.
But he did that to you and got away with it. That is not okay.
He didn't get away with it.
Yeah, he died too. I fucking
Yeah.
killed that bitch. He took it like a champ. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Kind of looks between all of you. I have to do something.
No, you don't. You actually don't. You don't.
And why not?
What are you going to do? What's the right thing?
He hurt you, I want to hurt him back.
Then you're just
Well, at
looking
least
for an
we-
excuse to hurt people.
Exactly. Do it fair and square. Challenge him to a duel.
Dolores,
That's what
please.
is all about.
No,
Dolores,
actually,
Dolores.
like
Please
Dolores.
not.
No, Dolores.
Whistle
No,
approves.
I
Dolores.
need money
I
to be
don't-
on land.
Whistle approves.
Dolores, I don't think you would want to challenge Casimir to a duel either.
No, you would.
No.
Duel that you'd sorely.
Mhm.
Casimir.
But it's not about winning or losing. Apparently, it's just about feeling better, isn't it, Casimir?
And putting on a good show, which it looks like you could do.
It's about the fact that I love Echinacea and he killed them.
He
What
told
did you
me
do
that
to
you.
Go ahead.
What did I do?
Not you,
What?
not you. Go ahead.
What? I button forget.
No.
Casimir turns to Whistle, and what did you do
Mhm.
with Nikolai? I don't want to hear about the things you're willing to do for the people you love.
The people I hurt for Nikolai are people I have to hurt. You don't have to hurt anyone today, Casimir.
I wouldn't expect you all to understand. Looking at the group, and he begins to
Casimir.
walk again. Yeah, go ahead,
Nope.
Echinacea.
Please stop. Just Echinacea, every time he moves, is catching up to him and then taking his arm.
Hang on. Actually, I know this is going to not go well for us. But what can I get an inside check or a read on him as he's trying to walk away
you can
here?
get
Does
in.
it look like he's just going to be on his own, or does he look like he's walking with intent?
Give me an insight check.
All right.
I say anybody can give that if they want.
Yeah.
Inspiration.
Now you want to use the inspiration.
Now I gotta use the inspiration
I
here. There
wanna
we
know.
go.
Go ahead, Andrew, what's
Let's
up?
see.
The 21.
It's a 19 insight for Whistle.
Okay. Button.
15 plus.
21, 19.
23
23. Dolores, are you rolling, or you're like, I'm just here for the show? Okay.
vibes.
Yeah.
Each of you, I'd say those rolls are pretty within the same realm of success here. There's not necessarily there is a desire to enact harm to somebody who has harmed a beloved person to Casimir. Intent, like, does he know what he's going to do when he sees Warren? Not necessarily. That's what the walk is for, to figure that out. But you can see a side of Casimir bubbling up that hasn't been seen in a little bit. That evoker, that Magus Arcanum, Sunwall Academy head torturer. You've inflicted harm on that which I love. You will get the same in kind. Yep.
Do we know about Casimir's husband?
Valor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Echinacea's talked about him.
Okay. I think it's hard for Xio to say anything, but I think the one thing that's like going through their mind is like, oh, he's thinking it could have been Valor all over again.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna ask the question real plain. Does Whistle think that he's going to go hurt Warren?
I think that's absolutely clear.
Okay, if that's what Whistle thinks, and that's totally, I think that's how I'm happy to play it here. If he is trying to walk off with that kind of energy,
Mhm.
Whistle's going to just extend a hand out and just stop him. He's not going to touch him, but he's going to clearly block him.
He's going to Misty Step in front of you.
Fucking Misty Step.
Echinacea, wizard.
All right.
They demons
Dice.
have to catch up with him.
Does Whistle still have Misty Step from his
No,
Feist cast?
that is gone.
Yeah.
it's
Ma'am.
far gone. It's only for the
Fuck.
turn, correct? Or no, it was
Yeah.
for a minute, but it's
Or
been
a
well
minute
For
or
like a
something.
minute, yeah.
Great try,
Casimir?
Blue.
Yeah.
Yes, Echinacea.
I don't want you to hurt him. I don't want you to go to that place, to his home, where he just got reunited with his brother and hurt him.
What if he does it again to somebody else and they're not able to bring themselves back, which I do want to know about, by the way.
Thank you. It was very cool. You heard him. He said he's not going to anymore. He's not going to the Crimson Mask anymore.
People lie.
Do you really think he was lying? Or do you...
I think it is well within the realm of possibility that he is not being completely honest.
They were clerics. Echinacea was coming back no matter what.
But there's also the realm of possibility that he was. And if that is the possibility, and Echinacea is asking you to let it go, you're not trusting them. And that's not fair.
Casimir looks at you, Echinacea, giving you the space to respond to those words of your companions.
Echinacea looks up at him, and the face that he's wearing is the face that they saw when they first met him.
Mm-hmm.
They were kneeling on the ground, and one of his compatriots' blades was under their chin. They still have the scar.
Mm-hmm.
And they watched him and Zonreen von Fane decide whether or not to kill them. And I think looking at his face now, he can see the person who knew nothing but Casimir's desire to kill them. They look at him, and the person who knew nothing but that, whose memory held nothing but that, is looking back at him for a moment. Please trust me.
I'm going to honor those insight checks. There's it's clear to see that something clicks within Casimir. A realization of sorts that maybe in confronting Warren, he's not necessarily confronting Warren. Maybe he's confronting a piece of himself.
You look like that day.
That day never should have happened, but it did.
Let's not repeat it then?
He looks at Dorlin. And what about the days that followed?
Let's not repeat those either.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. If someone had done that to Dorlin, I think I would be on the same march. I understand. It's okay. It's all okay. And no, Whistle's very wise. sometimes it's about getting out the feeling that you are having and not actual intent. And maybe we can go cast cantrips. Maybe they have like a cantrip field with targets or something. I don't know how this goes. Hey, Aio?
Echinacea panicked and trying to like smooth over.
I was like, yeah, we totally have something like that. Yep, definitely have a range for magical casting. Yes.
If you want it, or we can read about it. We can not read about that feeling, but I mean, we can read our way through it as we've done before. Or something else. What do you need? I don't know what you need.
You're not the first person that's helped, also. Just letting all of the energy out.
I do trust you. I don't trust myself. Dorlin, that's probably for the right reason, given what we've seen here today.
Dorlin, your feelings are valid, and so are Casimir's. Everyone's feelings are valid here.
No, he's right.
No.
He Echinacea. He's right. I thought you killed my husband. And you didn't. And I still held you in a tower for 3 months, knowing you were innocent, and keeping you from your family. He has every reason to hate me. He has every reason to loathe me. Because, well, I am Warren. At least that's how I'm perceiving myself. I hurt you, and maybe I didn't want to punish Warren. Maybe I wanted to punish myself.
I don't want that. Dorlin, I understand why you feel how you feel. But I love Casimir, I love you.
I love you. And if I've learned anything from you, it is that these journeys are not linear. I will do... He kind of turns away from the path that he was on and looks toward the library, looks toward all of you. I apologize. Echinacea, I am sorry. And Dolan, I am sorry for keeping them from you. I don't think Dorlin has anything to say. I think he sort of looks at Casimir and then looks to you, Echinacea, very much understanding the feelings that you're having and trusting the love that you've expressed for Casimir. And he just moves over and he just grabs your hand.
They wordlessly hold it. Because what do you say when someone's absolutely right and it ultimately doesn't matter for you?
Yep. Casimir kind of looks. I've taken us off track. There is research to be done.
Right. Research and brainstorming about how to get an invitation to a castle and things and Feywild and yes, we have so much to do. We have so much to do and we should work on something.
Torlin squeezes and looks toward you, Echinacea, Dolores, Xio, Aio, Whistle, Kaelin, Casimir. We have plenty of things to do. And he kind of leans to you, Echinacea. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere.
I love you too.
Casimir walks behind. Does everybody head into the library?
Dolores is going to say, so you need to get into a castle.
Oh my
That's-
god.
What a crazy thing to say.
Is that what you said?
That's
right?
what was said.
Now, I just got reached out to by a pretty
That's
fancy schmancy sponsor. I could see if they know a person who knows a person who knows the king. I don't know about any of this,
Oh.
but it would be through a performance. Got to call on some people, but I could see about that.
Whistle, you hear Nikolai. God, she is riveting, isn't she?
That's a pretty good idea.
I mean, come on. Threw up. The veil of a performance? That's incredible.
Now, also, as she's kind of tucking close to Whistle and Echinacea as they're walking into the library.
Uh-huh.
While you're passing through, got a couple other ideas.
Uh-huh.
But maybe we shouldn't talk here, because she mimics the motion that Xio did a little while ago about, like, eyes and ears and such, yeah.
Xio looks at Aio and is like, what is she plotting?
I was like, I have no fucking idea.
You know her best.
That
There's a
doesn't
look in her eye.
Yeah, I know.
That means nothing.
That means I know she's planning. What she is planning, I will not know until we're in it. And all I can do is prepare for what? A myriad of possibilities. You can see as Aio falls into a very similar panic to Echinacea, as she's just like, yeah, well, what I can do is just make sure I have healing potions made, that I have my spells prepared, and that okay. Like, she sort of storms into the library. Okay. Love that. So you guys head into the library and you see this vast collection of tomes. You see 3 different sections set on 3 different levels. You have like your main entry, you have which is pretty classic library, open in the center. Like there's a lot of there's like your reference desk. There's a whole slew of librarians kind of like passing out cards and tomes to people who are kind of standing at the front desk. With winter break really close. A lot of people are like returning books. Some people are like taking books to bring home for their breaks, things of that nature. And you see an older halfling man just sort of lean over. Io, you're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to get out. Get out. You're supposed to relax.
Get out.
What? You're here too much, love. You're here too much. She's like, I just need. Oh, I know that look. Go ahead. Go on back there. All right. And you are. I have to sign you all in. Your names.
I'm Xio Marino.
I imagine everybody gives their names.
Yeah.
Gives the names and just, all right. Caitlin, Casimir, Echinacea, Whistle, Dolores, Io, Xio. Well, welcome in. Are there any sections I can help you all find? These are all new faces, and I remember every face I see.
I
Well,
love this guy.
Whistle, you are familiar. Have I seen you before?
Maybe once or twice.
Oh, well, it's good to see an old face. Not that I'm calling your face old, just one that I've seen before. I apologize.
It's quite all right.
All right. Well, yeah, anything I can help you guys find.
Let's see. Hang on, I gotta go back to my goal.
This is where I tell you, El, where to go.
Yeah. He's looks at Whistle and it says just like maybe Divanthier history
Oh.
for maybe Vendrick, Lord Vendrick history.
Oh, you're talking about Divanthier Empire history.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well that's going to be up on our third floor, our historical floor.
Are there any tomes that are not available for grabbing willfully? That has
yeah,
to
we
be-
like any good library, we do have a restricted section.
like any good library.
Like any good library.
I'm just saying, like, why is it restricted? Like, what is restricted? Why?
Yeah,
why is
the
this-
librarian me is like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, you
like
know,
any good-
dangerous magics that could be used for
restricted
ill-gotten
section.
gains, things of that nature.
That's
that are,
true. That exists in this
That
fantasy
are
world.
well protected, and you know,
It's a
monitored.
big
Also in
sign
this
that
section.
says
It-
here.
It seems as if, I don't know, books hold a hell of a lot more power than they do in the real world, and if the wrong book got into the wrong hands, then things could happen badly.
True.
So the history section is going to be on floor 3.
And how do we get books from restricted books if we have access to them?
Do you go here?
Looks at Io.
I was
Probably
like,
not that.
Everybody turns to Aya.
I was like,
The whole party.
I do. But unfortunately, I can't give you access to the restriction section because your tuition's not paid in full.
Oh,
What about faculty?
that.
Oh, that's
Don't worry about that.
crazy. Faculty. There's no faculty here.
Dolores puts 200
Oh
gold.
no.
Stop. Xio grabs your gold and pushes it back
Hold
on you.
Guys, hold on. I need the comedic check. The comedic track. So, a donation. Why are you taking the donation?
No, Dolores. No.
Strength check. This is literally
No.
what we've done.
Okay.
No,
okay.
no.
Yep.
No,
We're gonna do a
because
contested strength check.
it's not a. Damn, I'm gonna fuck this up.
19. Is it a saving throw?
No,
Right.
just a contested check.
Oh. I'm gonna do that.
I got a 17 plus 3, so a 20.
Wait.
Wait.
Is it just plus 6? I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
Me. Damn. 19.
Okay. Xio manages to swipe the gold.
And then looks at Dolores and says, "No, because," and like whispers under his breath so that the halfling doesn't hear and just says, no, because my sister said no to the blood money. So no, absolutely not. Keep it. And then looks over at Whistle and says, faculty member.
What I don't see a faculty member.
Nick, would you like to
The dagger stands
clarify?
up. Hello, it's me, Professor Nikolai Volkoda. No, you're a knife.
That's rude.
It's true.
This is Nikolai Vorkoda. You can ask Vincent Morrisov,
Why would I ask Vincent
What?
Morrisov?
because the headmaster knows that this is Nikolai Vorkoda.
One
He can
moment.
corroborate it.
One moment. Zizi picks up a sending stone. Yes, the headmaster's office. I'll hold. Sorry, he's a busy man.
Crack.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. Hi. I am being told that Professor Nikolai Volkoda is in front of me, but I'm being presented with a knife. Really? Nikolai Volkoda is in the knife. Affirmative. Okay. Well, all right. Thank you. It seems as if you do indeed have faculty. David, inspiration point.
I'm only ever going to think of Vincent as a Peanuts parent.
Peanuts, yeah, an adult in the Peanuts universe. Well, with a faculty member, you have unrestricted access to the restricted section.
Yeah.
Nikolai is
Incredible.
like, and that's correct.
Unrestricted access.
To the restricted section. Kalen's pissing himself, laughing so hard. Casimir is doing this. Dorlin is giggling. But you guys gain access into the library, and that is where we're going to call tonight's chapter of Known Realms. So
Amazing.
Like, you've had enough.
I was like, that's
You're
it.
done.
We're
That's it.
devolving.
You're done. Oh God. Okay. Hi everybody. Thank you for tuning in to this chapter of Known Realms Tolesh. What a silly, goofy time most of that was. Before we head out, let's go ahead and outro our player, starting with Angie.
Hello, everybody. My name is Angie, they, them pronouns. You can find me at Agonethetic on the internet. I play Xio Marino, he, they pronouns. And catch us here on the Tales Archive channel on December 14th, Saturday, December 14th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for God Killer, Sinner's Sacrifice, where I play Flint, the God Killer. Yeah.
Hell yeah, brother. Lou.
Hi, I'm Lou. I play Dolores, she, her pronouns. You can find me most places on the internet at Lucilia_art. And I'll be at GalaxyCon this weekend. Come see me.
Do it. Thank you, David. Sorry.
Hey guys, I'm David. I have been playing Whistle. Both he, him pronouns, and you can catch me here as Whistle for the foreseeable future until we frustrate Alec enough. And you can also catch me over in some new Tales Archived projects starting in January. And then when I'm not here, I'm over at Stealthy Elf Productions, where I am the game master of several Pathfinder 2nd Edition games.
Yams.
Yums.
That's me.
And last but not least, Button.
Hello, I'm Button. My pronouns are they, them. I am Bluebluebutton on social media, and when I'm not playing Echinacea Belrose, you can find me in that aforementioned January game. Also on, sorry, I don't know who I turned into, the Librarian. And when I'm not here, you can find me over on Stealthy Elf Productions in the New World Rebellion campaign and the Unearthed Inheritance campaign, which just had its last session of the year last night. So catch us in the new year.
Oh, that's right, because that's
We
happening.
pre-recorded both. Time is a weird soup, though, and I got it right.
Yeah, nice job.
Yeah,
Nice
when you
job.
You broke my brain for a second. I was like, wait a second,
that's
damn.
Oh yeah, technically that does air on set. Great job. Nice job. Hi,
That's not what you wanted to say.
nice cock.
Thank you.
Nice.
No, it's not. I said what I wanted to say. You didn't hear what you
Oh.
wanted to hear. Don't put that shit on me.
I'm just a sexy Mrs. Claus. I never.
And I stand by that statement. There's nothing wrong. I stand for sexy Mrs. Claus rights and wrongs. What if she topped me? Hi, everybody. My name is Alec. My pronouns are he, him. You can find me all places on the internet at Tales Archived. I'm the Archivist here for Known Ralph Tolesh. I will be heading another ship at some point in January. And I produce God Killer Sinner Sacrifice. Tune in December 14th for that. Right, 14th. Are you? I am correct. I am correct.
Yeah.
December
the
14th for episode
The
1.
first sneak peek. Yeah, the first sneak peek had the wrong date.
Oops. And then you can find me over.
I'll like spell it.
You can find me over at Stealthy Elf Productions, where I play Finn Reese in Heroes of Cherry Unearthed Inheritance, which had its last session of the year last night. And I play as Narim, the disembodied voice. See you guys next time.
Oh.
What if Mrs. Claus topped me? Bye.
Ho ho ho.